Who is this dude? This is Will Coleman, the CEO of ALTO. I'm sure you have heard of them. They started in Texas. They are doing well in LA and they're growing. And this former McKinsey partner believes he can defeat Uber and Lyft. Don't just believe it, Will. Know it, own it. You can, right? I know that for a fact. And he gives his drivers better benefits, better conditions. He gives them employee status. And guess what? He just raised $45 million doing that, right? It's a far, far superior service. Reach out to them, ALTO, ALTO. I'll leave the link below. Here is this dude, big smiley face here. And hit me up, Will. If you want the support of this channel, if you want to grow your company, I know how to market. I know how to sell. I'm a born salesman through and through. Allow me to support you just like I am building out the local driver co-op. I've signed up thousands and thousands of drivers. Now, Uber and Lyft are facing a driver shortage for their ride-hailing service despite increased demand. Will Coleman, the CEO of ALTO, a competitor, says the shortage is because gig workers want more reliable income in a new labor market. And he's 100% right by saying that. ALTO just received $45 million in a Series B funding to expand its ride-hailing service, which Coleman compared to a job at Starbucks with benefits and employee status. So there you have it. Just knows how to treat people, knows how to give them what they want. And, you know, with that formula, it's easy. You grow your company. I've been preaching this for years, right? I've been telling Uber and Lyft this for years. Uber and Lyft have a different philosophy, right? There's take the money of the investors, subsidize all the trips, try and blow all the competitors out of the market, destroy taxi companies, destroy shuttle companies, don't take care of your drivers. Well, it's a pack of cards that eventually collapses, and you know their shares are crap. Uber and Lyft shares are crap, and this guy knows where to come in just at the right time to fill that void, right? Will Coleman, the CEO of ALTO, a ride-hailing competitor, told Insider he believes the driver shortage is largely due to better options available. Very true. In order to lure back drivers back, ride-hailing companies will have to provide more reliable income. Of course, Coleman is also talking up his own book. His company, ALTO, employs their drivers rather than uses contract labor. That means the company guarantees them a minimum wage and provides other employee benefits like Social Security. These practices specifically target arguments made by Uber and other gig economy companies that claim drivers prefer the flexibility that being a contract worker offers. Some investors are buying ALTO's argument. The company, which currently operates only in a few cities, recently raised $45 million to expand its service around the country to try and prove out its model. Coleman is particularly critical of the practice that drivers only get paid while they're making a trip rather than the overall hours they spend on the app. He argues that no other industry would accept that premise. We would never say if you are a Starbucks barista, unless a customer comes in and asks for a drink, you're not going to get paid. And he's right, folks. He's right. He's on the money. Or you're going to be a grocery store worker, which also has very high demand fluctuations. But unless you're actively checking somebody out, you're not getting paid. Before starting ALTO, Coleman spent a decade at consultant giant McKinsey, leading its travel practice. While there, he studied the ride-hailing business intensively, concluding that their labor model was vulnerable to these problems. By only paying drivers while actively on duty, these companies were able to have a surplus of vehicles on the road waiting to be hailed. I'd like to interview you. So let's set up a Zoom call. Let's do a live feed, Will, and then you can explain to the drivers what you are building there and why you are building ALTO and why you are going to cut into Uber and Lyft and why you are able to take on this company. That ensured that most riders would only have to wait a few minutes to get a car and kept prices artificially low. but meant drivers were being underpaid for the time spent on duty. On the other hand, ALTO's rides are around twice the cost of an Uber. A recent test by Insider showed for one-time gig workers who sat out during the pandemic, the question now is which model is most appealing to them. A service like ALTO may be more reliable income stream and allows for part-time work, but it doesn't offer the complete flexibility that Uber and Lyft have, where anyone can open up the app at any point and start accepting rides. In California last year, voters passed a measure backed by the big gig economy companies that let them to continue to categorize drivers as contractors. We know that, Prop 22. Coleman argued that these polls likely misrepresented the types of drivers who do the bulk of the work. He pointed to Lyft's data, which showed that 91% of the drivers on the app work fewer than 20 hours a week. ALTO's own research shows that around 9% of drivers end up doing 50% or more of the total rides. The people that are doing the most work are very underrepresented in these polls, Coleman said. Coleman also pointed to a recent survey from his former employer McKinsey that showed that after the pandemic, 62% of gig workers said they were looking for permanent employment. If that holds true, it could dramatically shrink the gig company's available workforce, and it will. History is playing against drivers coming back to gig companies because they are quite skeptical. Fool me once, but you're not going to fool me again. I've used that sentence once bitten, twice shy, many a times. I hope that Will has come across my channel. I know and knows that I'm a fighter, and you can absolutely defeat Uber and Lyft by just giving drivers way better conditions. So hit me up on that. Huge shout out to my sponsor, Legal Rideshare. Make sure you reach out to them if you get into an accident, if you or your passengers were injured. This is the first address you should be calling, legalrideshare.com, and they are professional. They focus just on this industry. There he is, Brian Greening, awesome guy, and they're represented in all 50 states. If you are with a law firm and you're not happy with the progress, call them. Just switch over to Legal Rideshare and make sure they take care of your needs. Have a great day, my friends. And I will also leave the ALTO link below. I know that David Garcia, good friend of mine, subscriber of this channel, drives for ALTO. He's super happy. If you want to contact him directly, I can put you guys together. He will give you a wealth of information. He's a very successful ALTO driver in LA. And this company is growing fast. Why? Because unlike Dara and John Zimmer, they know how to treat drivers. Simple formula.